नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Reading from the book A Second Chance, the story of a near-death experience by His Divine Grace Vishwaguru Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Chapter 5, entitled The Vishnu Dutas to the Rescue. Please hear attentively as I am reading. Towards the end of the session, we will be having an interactive quiz. Shukadev Goswami continued, My dear king, the order carriers of Vishnu, the Vishnu Dutas, immediately arrived when they heard the holy name of their master from the mouth of the dying Ajamila, who had certainly chanted without offense because he had chanted in complete anxiety. The order carriers of Yamaraja were snatching the soul from the core of Ajamila's heart, but with resounding voices the Vishnudutas forbade them to do so. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 1, verses 30 and 31. The messengers dispatched by the Lord. The Yamadutas, who are the assistants of Yamaraja, the superintendent of death, had come to drag Ajamila away. Ajamila appealed to his youngest son Narayana. Narayana, please come here, I am dying. Krishna is so kind that as soon as he heard Ajamila chant Narayana at the time of his death, he immediately dispatched his assistants, the Vishnudutas, to give Ajamila shelter. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura remarks that the Vishnudutas came because they heard Ajamila chant the holy name of their master, Narayana, without considering why he was chanting. While chanting the name of Narayana, Ajamila was actually thinking of his son, but simply because they heard Ajamila chant the Lord's name, the Vishnudutas immediately came for Ajamila's protection. Chanting of the Lord's holy name is actually meant for his glorification. Ajamila, however, did not glorify the Lord. He simply chanted the holy name of Narayana because of his excessive attachment to his son. Nevertheless, because of his past good fortune in having rendered devotional service to Narayana in his youth, he apparently chanted the holy name in full devotional service and without offense. Thus, that chanting was sufficient to cleanse him of all sinful reactions and assure him the protection of the Vishnudutas. The name Narayana has the full potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana or Krishna. That is the secret of Nama Sankirtana, chanting the names of God. By chanting the holy name of Krishna, we make immediate contact with Krishna himself. The reason for this is that the Lord's name is not material, it is spiritual and absolute. Thus, there is no difference between Krishna and his name. snatching the soul. When the Vishnu Dutas arrived, they spoke to the Yamadutas with extreme gravity. What are you doing? Stop! You cannot take this man to Yamaraja. A Vaishnava, one who has surrendered to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, is always protected by Lord Vishnu's order carriers. Because Ajamila had chanted the holy name of Narayana, the Vishnu Dutas not only immediately arrived on the spot, but also at once ordered the Yamadutas not to touch him. By speaking with resounding voices, the Vishnudutas threatened to punish the Yamadutas if they continued trying to snatch Ajamila's soul from his heart. The order carriers of Yamaraja have jurisdiction over all sinful living entities, but the messengers of Lord Vishnu are capable of punishing anyone, including Yamaraja, if he wrongs a Vaishnava. Modern scientists do not know where to find the soul within the body with their material instruments. But here the Srimad Bhagavatam clearly explains that the soul is within the core of the heart, Hridaya. It is from the heart that the Yamadutas were trying to extract the soul of Ajamila. The heart is part of the mechanical arrangement of the body. As the Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse 61, Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddesherjuna tishtati Brahmayan sarva bhutani yantrarudhani mayaya. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. Yantra means machine, such as an automobile. The driver of the machine of the body is the individual soul, who is also its director or proprietor, but the supreme director and proprietor is the personality of Godhead in his form as the super soul. One's body is created through the agency of Maya according to one's activities in one's past life. And according to one's activities in this life, Maya creates another body for the next life. At the appropriate time, one's next body is immediately chosen, and both the individual soul and the super soul transfer to that particular bodily machine. This is the process of transmigration of the soul. During transmigration from one body to the next, the sinful soul is taken away by the order carriers of Yamaraja and put into a particular type of hellish life in order to become accustomed to the condition in which he will live in his next body. Thus ends chapter 5 of the book A Second Chance, entitled The Vishnudutas to the Rescue. So, in this chapter, as we read just now, the Vishnudutas appear, and the Vishnudutas appear to protect Ajamila from the Yamadutas, and they even stop the Yamadutas from snatching the soul of the sinful Ajamila. So, as we had read yesterday, the Yamadutas had actually come with an intention to take this sinful Ajamila to Yamaraja, and there he was about to be subjected to various punishments because of his sinful activities. So, but since he chanted the name of Narayana at the time of his death, the Lord sent his messengers, the Vishnudutas, to protect Ajamila. So from this we understand how attentive the Lord is to every prayer, every time when we chant his holy names. The Lord is always attentive. He is hearing to us. So therefore we must be very, very uh, conscious of this fact when we are offering prayers or chanting the Lord's names. Yes, the Lord is hearing me, and the Lord shall reciprocate with me. And also, we should appreciate the compassion of the Lord. Even though we are so sinful, even a sinful person, if he chants the holy name compassionately, the Lord will arrange for protection of such a sinful person. So we all have a lot of hope. That means even though we might have committed sinful activities and offenses, if we repent and we chant the holy names as per the instruction of our beloved spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, we can also attain the favor and mercy of the Supreme Lord. Now we shall proceed for the quiz. It will be a multiple choice question quiz. So I'm going to read out the questions with the options. After hearing the questions, please type your answers A, B, C, or D in the chat window. So here's your first question. When did the Vishnudutas immediately arrive to protect Ajamila? Your options are A. When Ajamila remembered his past sins. B. When Ajamila saw the Yamadutas. C. When Ajamila lost consciousness. Or D. When Ajamila chanted the holy name of Narayana. Please type A, B, C, or D. Yes, Jagannath and Chetna Mataji and Girish. Yes, all of you have given the right answer. The answer is D. The Vishnu Dutas immediately arrived to protect Ajamila when he chanted the holy name of Narayana. Okay, the next question. Why was Ajamila chanting Narayana? Why was Ajamila's chanting of Narayana considered without offense? Okay, your options are A. He consciously glorified the Lord. B. He chanted with complete anxiety. C. He performed sacrifices earlier. D. He was instructed by a guru. So please type A, B, C, or D. Yes, yes. Most of you, all of you have given the right answer. B is the right answer. Ajamila's chanting was considered without offense because he chanted with complete anxiety. We know there are 10 offenses to be avoided against chanting the holy names of the Lord, as mentioned in the Padma Purana. So, when somebody chants with an offensive mentality, even if he chants for a long period of time, such a person will not attain the desired success, which is to attain pure love for Krishna. But in the case of Ajamila, he was not chanting offensively because he was in a utter state of helplessness. In great fear and anxiety, he simply called out the name of Narayana. Therefore, it is considered to be offenseless chanting. Of course, it is not Shuddha Nama, it is not pure chanting, but it is chanting without offenses. And that is why the Vishnu Dutas immediately appeared. In other words, Ajamila did not keep some material calculations in his mind while calling out the name of Narayana. Like, for example, somebody may chant with the thinking that if I chant the name of the Lord, all my sins will become counteracted. Therefore, let me chant. That is an example for offensive chanting. That is the seventh offense. That is chanting the holy name to counter, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. But in the case of Ajamila, he did not think like that. So, in a helpless state of mind, in complete anxiety, he called out. Therefore, it is called offenseless chanting. So, there are three stages of chanting. First stage is called offensive chanting. Second stage is called offense clearing stage. And the third is called Shuddhanama or pure chanting. So, by following the instructions of Srila Prabhupada and carefully chanting attentively, we can get rid of all the offenses and we can come to the stage of pure chanting. Okay, let's go to the third question. From where were the Yamadutas attempting to extract Ajamila's soul? Your options are A, his head, B, his navel, C, his heart, or D, his breath. From where were the Yamadutas attempting to snatch the soul from his body? Yes, yes, all of you have given the right answer. C, his heart is the right answer. As Srila Prabhupada quoted both Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita verses, the soul is present in the heart. Heart is said to be the seat of consciousness because of the presence of the soul. Of course, the soul is present throughout the body in the form of consciousness, but the soul proper is present in our heart. So the Yamadutas were trying to snatch or extract Ajamila's soul from his heart. Okay, the next question. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the Vishnudutas came because A. Ajamila called his son, B. Ajamila intended liberation, C. Yamadutas requested for help, or D. They heard the holy name regardless of the motive. Actually, I'm receiving different answers. Okay, Jagannath, Prasad, and Girish have said A. The Vishnudutas came because Ajamila called for his son, according to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. No, that's not the right answer. Chetna Mataji has given the right answer. D. The Vishnudutas came because they heard the holy name of their master, regardless of the motive of Ajamila. They did not take into account what was the motive of Ajamila while chanting Narayana. They only heard the name of their master. Therefore, on the order of their master, the Vishnudutas came there to rescue Ajamila. So that is the opinion of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, one of the great acharyas in our Gaudiya Vaishnava parampara. Let's go to the next question. Chanting the holy name of the Lord is primarily meant for what? Your options are A. To achieve mental peace, B. To achieve material benefit, C. To glorify the Lord, or D. To protect oneself and his family. Yes, all of you have given the right answer. The chanting of the holy name of the Lord is primarily meant for glorifying the Lord, right? That is the right answer. C. Uh, so, all other things are not the primary purpose for chanting. Attaining mental peace, attaining material benefits, protecting oneself and one's family members. These are all secondary side effects of chanting the holy name. But primarily, the holy name of the Lord should be chanted to glorify the Lord. The Lord is supremely glorious. He's supremely merciful, supremely powerful, and a pure devotee of the Lord, realizing these glories of the Lord, he chants the Lord's name without any material motive. He chants simply to glorify the Lord. Why we should glorify the Lord? When we glorify the Lord, we become purified. That is the understanding. Because the chanting the Lord's name puts us directly in touch with the Lord. So when we chant the Lord's name, since we touch Him directly, we become purified. So we glorify to become purified. Okay, the last question for today. The last question, let us see. Who is always protected by the Vishnu Dutas? Your options are a learned scholar, B. A learned scholar, B. A surrendered Vaishnava, C. A religious practitioner, or D. A charitable person. Who is always protected by the Vishnu Dutas? Yes, please type A, B, C, or D. Yes, B is the right answer, as all of you have given. The Vishnu Dutas, or the order carriers of the Supreme Lord, always give protection to a surrendered Vaishnava, a pure devotee of the Lord. So, simply by chanting the holy names of the Lord, as demonstrated by Lord Chaitanya, we can surrender to the Supreme Lord in this Kali Yuga. Not only we should chant, but we should hear attentively each word of the mantra, and in this way we can become a sincere, surrendered Vaishnava, and in this way we can always be assured of protection by the Supreme Lord. Today is the appearance day of the spiritual master of our spiritual master. Our spiritual master is His Divine Grace Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada. His spiritual master is His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur made his divine appearance in this material world on today's auspicious day. So let us seek his blessings by offering Pranama Mantra, by chanting Pranama Mantra of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाब्धये कृष्णसम्बन्धविज्ञानदायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्ज्वलप्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिदा श्रीगौरकरुणाशक्तिविग्रहाय नमोऽस्तु ते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुगविरुद्धापसिद्धान्तध्वान्तहारिणे Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. The meaning of this prayer is I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at His lotus feet. I offer my respectful obeisances to Sri Varshabhanavi Devi Dayita Dasa, which is another name of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, who is favored by Srimati Radharani and who is the ocean of transcendental mercy and the deliverer of the signs of Krishna. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, the personified energy of Sri Chaitanya's mercy, who delivers devotional service which is enriched with conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, coming exactly in the line of revelation of Srila Rupa Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who are the personified teachings of Lord Chaitanya. You are the deliverer of the fallen souls. You do not tolerate any statement which is against the teachings of devotional service, enunciated by Srila Rupa Goswami. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai.
Sorry.
And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is also known as Simha Guru. In fact, he would actually debate with great scholars who would present wrong interpretations of the Vedic knowledge, and he would defeat them in such debates. So, in such debates, he would roar like a lion to establish the correct understanding, the parampara understanding of the Vedic knowledge. Great scholars were afraid of him because they knew that they could not stand in front of the wisdom of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Therefore, he was called Simha Guru. And also, it is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur who actually inspired Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master, to go to the West and establish the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In fact, even in the very first meeting, when Srila Prabhupada was still a student, a follower of Gandhian principles, his name was Abhay Charan at that time, Abhay. So when he met Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the very first meeting, he was told by his Guru Maharaj that you're all educated young men. Why don't you take up the service of preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya to the English speaking world? This made a deep impact in Srila Prabhupada, in Abhay's mind. And later on, when Abhay officially accepted, in fact, in the first meeting itself, Srila Prabhupada said, within my mind, I accepted him as my spiritual master. When I heard him, Prabhupada says, I was happy to know that the message of Lord Chaitanya is in the right hands. So he is a genuine sadhu. So it was a deep, impactful meeting, the first meeting. And then Prabhupada accepted Srila Bhakti Siddhanta as his master, spiritual master within his mind. After about 11 years, he officially accepted Srila Prabhupada as his Diksha Guru, took initiation from him. And then he was, as a householder, Prabhupada used to do so many things to serve his Guru Maharaja's mission, ex- uh, support the activities of Gaudiya Math. And later on, uh, ag- uh, when Prabhupada was instructed by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in his dream to accept sannyas, Prabhupada moved to Vrindavan and later accepted sannyas. And by his instruction and inspiration, Srila Prabhupada traveled to the West and took the message of Lord Chaitanya far and wide. And every time Srila Prabhupada would always make this statement whenever he saw sincere seekers coming to him, his disciples, Prabhupada would he would say that you're all representatives of my Guru Maharaj. My Guru Maharaj has mercifully sent you all to me. And even though my own Guru Maharaj could have done preaching all over the world, but he wanted to give me the credit. Like this, Prabhupada used to glorify his spiritual master. And Prabhupada always said that my spiritual master, he's not an ordinary person, he's a Vaikuntha man. He's directly from the spiritual world. So, like this, Prabhupada has glorified his spiritual master and he has taught us that it is a duty of a disciple to glorify his spiritual master. So, on today's auspicious occasion of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's appearance day, let us all offer our prayers to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta and seek his mercy, his blessings, so that we can follow the instructions of Srila Prabhupada diligently and serve his mission and make advancement in Krishna consciousness. With this, we come to the end of today's session. We shall meet tomorrow and continue to read the book, The Second Chance. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki jai. Vishwa
Yeah.
Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.